Welcome to the Group Chat, a podcast hosted by Vic Kempf, Pav Toure and Sunny Singh. This podcast will talk about all the things that matter, right here and now. We'll discuss and debate what's happening in popular culture, music, dating, and the craziness of everyday life. You've officially been added to the Group Chat. Hello, and welcome to the very first episode of the In the Group Chat podcast. This is a no BS show about everything and anything. I'm Sunny Singh, and I'm a marketing manager in technology. I play Doll for a team called Imperial Drummers, and I'm a co-author of a blog called The Life of the Doll Player. Now, I'm joined by a man who's built a career in reinventing traditional Indian art. My close friend, a fellow doll player, Vic Kempf. Vic, what's up?
Yo, all good, man. How are you?
I'm really good. I'm so happy to see you here.
Thank you, man.
Now, I'm joined by the taller member of the group chat, one of my oldest friends, a fellow doll player, co-author of the Life of the Doll Player blog, and the very handsome Pav Toure. Pav, how are you doing, mate?
I just want to point out that I am 6'1", and yes, the 1 inch makes a big difference, right?
That is the best intro, Pav.
All good, man.
Yeah, I'm really good, thanks. I'm finally happy that we've got this podcast up and running.
So I have a very distinct picture in my head of when I approached you both separately about this podcast and starting it. But I thought it would be really nice for you to give your own perspective, tell your own story, and perhaps set the scene for our listeners. So Vic, why don't you go first and set the scene of when I first approached you about this podcast?
Mate, my story is like the best one. Like, it's so interesting. Okay, I was in bed. Like, that's the best thing you can do first. Okay, I was in bed doing my work because I can work from home. Okay, and I got this amazing message from Sunny, absolutely crapping myself, thinking this guy wants to ask me a question. He wants a serious conversation. He's like, Vic, can I give you a call? I need to ask you something. And I was like, okay. So I'm awaiting his phone call now, thinking something's wrong. There's a problem.
Oh yeah, don't you hate it when he just messages you saying, I need to talk to you?
Exactly. And he's like, hi pal, can we have a chat? I'm like, because if you don't know Sunny, that's Sunny for you, okay? He'll start with, hi pal, hi buddy, okay. But anyway, he gives me a call, and the most unexpected, mate, I want to start a podcast. And I was like, okay, unexpected, but I know that when Sunny wants to do something, he means it. So here we are. And I was obviously wondering who's going to be doing branding, what's it going to be called. And I'm also hoping, Sunny, that you didn't get me on just because I can probably brand the damn thing.
Of course not.
Yeah, good. But that's me. I mean, like, you know, I was quite happy about that. What happened to you?
Oh mate, I got the better end of the deal. Sunny wine and dined me before he asked me. We were at a studio session recording a couple of things for Dawn, and I think after we went for some dinner basically, and we were sat there and he said the same thing. He goes, Pav, I need to have a talk to you. Can we have a chat? I thought, oh god.
I like these serious sort of, introductions. A bit of an anticlimax, isn't it?
But this is what you do to us, right? So you were like, I need to have a chat. And I went, oh god, okay. And he goes, I want to start a podcast. Are you up for it? And if I'm completely honest, I wasn't quite sold on the idea at first. So we had a chat about it. We went through, the things that I was unsure about, and he gave me the several reassurances that I needed. And then I thought to myself, actually, do you know what? If I'm going to do it, I might as well just put my heart into it and do it. I would rather do it and fail than not do it and regret it.
How did you feel when you found out that he asked me first?
Sonny, I need to have a chat with you, by the way. No, it was it doesn't really matter to me, to be honest.
Okay, good.
I mean, at least he asked me is the thing. I mean, I'd be more upset if he didn't ask me.
Of course.
But like I said to you, we had a chat, and then I thought, you know what, I'm going to give this a go, and here we are.
I think the reason why I wanted you to is because you're both great talkers. You can both talk well, but you're both really opinionated, and I think that's what a podcast needs. It needs strong opinions where people can communicate their opinions and you can debate and discuss.
Of course.
Yeah, I completely agree.
I think that's what it needs, and that's why.
That's what makes great conversation.
Well, exactly,
And, yeah.
exactly. And actually, just thinking back, what the reason why this idea even came about was Pav and I have a blog called The Life of a Door Player. And back in December, I launched a blog, or I posted a blog called Performance Anxiety. Now, this isn't about sex or not being able to perform in the bedroom. This is about how people get nervous and they feel anxious about performing in front of people, whether it's an audition or you're playing door or a performance of any kind. And I felt like we've all got something to share. And for that blog, it's targeted at door players. You can't talk about other issues, so I felt restricted. So that's why I thought, let's just start a podcast. And I remember being super young and somebody asking me, what do you want to be when you're older? And this must have been in secondary school, actually. And somebody said, and I responded with radio DJ.
Really?
I wanted to be a radio presenter.
Interesting.
And I've always kind of had, a bit of a, what would you say in Punjabi, shonk.
Okay.
Translation.
Interest.
Interest.
An appetite for it. So, here we are, and I'm really, really excited to getting this moving. Now, this podcast will be shared on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and we will actually be recording in person and putting them up on YouTube as well once we sort of navigate this whole COVID-19 lockdown. But guys, do you want to perhaps share what we're going to be covering?
So I believe there's a lot of different views and opinions that aren't really spoken about in Asian communities and households. So we're definitely going to be speaking about those things, bringing up topics that you wouldn't be usually hearing about, or is a bit of a tough discussion to have at home. What's popular in music, movies, entertainment, and also current affairs. So anything that's going on that's important, taking up, I think majority of social media that we're seeing a lot of the time. So it will be good to bring up those, especially right now. So we're definitely going to be picking up on those topics and sharing our views and opinions on that.
Yeah, we'll also be covering topics like dating. So Sunny's going to share his dating stories.
I'm not going to share my dating stories.
No, but I think it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to talk about dating from our perspectives, and some of the stuff that we find difficult. I think business will be a topic that will be really interesting for us to talk about, because as doll players, it's we all know it's playing doll is more than just turning up with your sticks and playing. It's the whole aspects of behind it, securing the client, the deals, and all that kind of stuff. And I think
taking all the wrong turns.
Yeah,
thinking
absolutely.
That, better than the Google Maps.
That's exactly it.
Turning up
Yeah.
late.
Because we've done that so many times. And I think it'll be interesting because hopefully from the conversations, people who are listening who maybe want to start doll or start a business, they'll get ideas from us, and hopefully we can support in that way. And just any random things that happen. So for example, we might go to a gig and you might see a fight, or our uncle getting a bit
That
too drunk.
actually happens more than you think.
I have witnessed a baby fall over during the
Really?
and we stopped. They told us to carry on. I
That's
didn't know really how to
jokes.
feel about
Could you
this.
imagine?
Yeah.
Could you imagine your poor sacred baby stacking it?
Yeah. I mean, we've been playing doll for absolutely ages, so we've got plenty of stories to say. So those are the kind of things that you guys will be hearing from us.
So essentially all the things that you would hear yourself discussing in a group chat with your friends, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is why we've called it In the Group Chat. And we're also excited about having guests on the show, which will be interesting. Like, who's the most popular person in the world right now? Donald Trump?
I mean,
not for the right reasons.
Let's
but-
get him on the show and then beat him up afterwards. Secret Service will block that one out. So let's talk about social. Now, you can follow us on Instagram, and on our Instagram, we will be hosting regular polls, Q&As to help you get involved and inspire the content on our podcast. We may also be doing a few giveaways. I know myself, Pav and Vic have a few interesting giveaway ideas in mind.
We do.
But you can follow us on Instagram, And I think we're working on getting a Twitter account out, so we'll share that once we have that up. But all the links links will be in the bio and the description, so definitely do check that out. Now, guys, we're gonna wrap this up. A few final words. How do you feel about the podcast, episode 1?
Mate, I am absolutely buzzing. I'm so ready to just have some really deep conversations, debates happening, and yeah, just having some great company with you guys as well.
Absolutely.
I'm really excited for this. More so because obviously I know the conversations we have can be quite interesting, so it'd be nice to share them. But more importantly, I'm quite interested in the comments and the opinions of people that are listening, and hopefully, you guys do listen in, you tune in, and please share your opinions with us, and it'll be interesting to hear them. And if you guys have topics that you want us to discuss, we'd be more than happy
We are
to discuss
very
it.
open-minded individuals, so
Yeah, I think we are.
come at us with everything. Trust me.
Even if it's controversial.
Yeah.
And the one thing I don't want to leave out is, just like any group chat, we're gonna have some good bants. Like, we gotta have
The
some fun
bands
while
are
we're
going to
doing
be
this.
there naturally.
We probably need to use the beeping sound for the swearing and things like that. Oh, actually, should we just leave the swearing out?
You know what, Sonny? For f***'s sake. Pav, your shitty haircut is really shitty.
Parental discretion is advised. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the In the Group Chat podcast with Sonny, Vic and Pav. Stay tuned for episode 2.